From the very beginning, the United States has been shaped by immigrants from every corner of the world, and standing at the nation's doorstep is a powerful symbol of that promise, the Statue of Liberty. For millions, she has represented freedom, opportunity, and the hope of a more humane life. Drawn by that promise, generations have come to this land to build new careers, raise families, and help create a country known for prosperity, freedom, and democracy. Among those stories is the story of the Vietnamese people. History placed many Vietnamese families in an impossible position. In the search for freedom, countless people left behind their homeland, risking dangerous journeys, losing homes and careers, and sometimes sacrificing even family and life itself. In that moment, the American government and the American people opened their arms, welcoming Vietnamese refugees from camps across Southeast Asia, from Vietnam, and from many parts of the world. More than half a century later, the Vietnamese refugee community has not only rebuilt, it has grown. A second generation has been educated and empowered, bringing knowledge, talent, and determination to the country their parents chose as a second homeland. And across every generation, one value remains strong: gratitude. Vietnamese Americans continue to contribute to this society in education, in service, in business, and in community life. Today's story is a clear example of that spirit. We invite you to follow along.
Ms. Kimmy and Dr. Nguyen are truly changing lives.
The Duongs are such an American story.
The wealth, the opportunity that they got, they put it back into the community to make opportunity for everybody else. And that's why the country moves so fast up.
If you think about fleeing a war-torn country, coming to this country as an immigrant, building a future that has been so incredibly impressive, but then pausing and thinking, I need to help others.
Especially for a woman who first got out of Vietnam with $30 in her hand. And 50 years later, she'll be able to give back 30 million. They are not only helping the next generation, but also helping to pay back to what this country helping refugees.
We celebrated Kimmy and Long's Foundation's transformative $36 million gift to name the School of Computing.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. What an honor it is to be here with all of you, to see this room filled with so many people who play roles in educating the next generation.
First and foremost, welcome to Fuse. This is a landmark day for our campus, for our students.
It's an honor and a pleasure to be here and celebrate the grand opening of Fuse. In 2009, our good friends, Long Nguyen and Kimmy Yoon, helped us build a new building in Fairfax. Now, they've made another transformational gift. We've named our School of Computing in their honor. I think
This small one, but the big one, right? It's the biggest.
It's the most impactful and the most beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
to commemorate this special day, we are very pleased to present our friends Long and Kimmy with a depiction of the Nguyen Engineering Building and the Fuse Building, created by one of our students, Veronica Padrino, who's majoring in mechanical engineering.
You are making this world a better place, and I hope that I can be part of that change and to represent you well. Thank you.
Kimmy Dương, a life of courage, resilience, success, and impact.
My name is Kimmy Long. I'm retired entrepreneur. I used to be a CFO of Pragmatics. Even retired, but I still have a lot of work to do. I usually still get up about 4 or 5 a.m. and work. Luckily, it's only about noon and rest in the afternoon. To me, that is retiring. So, because I have to work on our accounting system for our foundations, and also have to prepare for the for scholarship program for the next year.
Kimmy Dương, born on January 12, 1945 in Nha Trang, Vietnam, rose from a childhood of poverty to become one of the most remarkable immigrant philanthropists in modern history. Her life is a story of resilience, courage, and purpose, a journey that transformed not only her own path, but also the lives of countless others through her philanthropy. Kimmy's early years were marked by hardship. She lived in a small home in a small town, but her parents instilled in her values that would shape her future. Her father emphasized the power of education, while her mother modeled compassion and generosity towards others. She remembered how her mother always carried a small side bag to save rice for beggars, a simple but powerful act of giving that would stay with her forever. At the age of 11, Kimmy left her hometown to live with her uncle so she could attend high school, an opportunity unavailable in her village. When she was 14, she failed an important exam and saw how deeply disappointed her father was. That moment became a turning point in her life. Overcome with regret, she promised herself she would never fail again and would live with no regrets. The spirit of generosity later inspired Kimmy Dương Foundation's guiding message: giving back, paying forward. Kimmy's goal is to help students understand that giving back and paying forward are not just acts of kindness, but responsibilities that strengthen communities. Influenced by her Buddhist background, Kimmy has always cared deeply for the poor and the sick. Having grown up in poverty, she arrived in the United States as a refugee in 1975. She understands the challenges that hardship brings. Throughout her life, Mrs. Dương has generously supported charitable causes such as the Vietnamese Association for the Handicapped, scholarships for high school students in Nha Trang, housing the poor in Huế, Mỹ Tho, Nha Trang, and Phan Thiết, cataract surgery and medical care for the poor in Cần Thơ, Huế, and Nha Trang. In the United States, she has supported organizations such as the Code of Support Foundation, as well as scholarship funds for the veterans and students at the University of Maryland, Montgomery College, North Virginia Community College, and George Mason University. To strengthen and sustain these efforts, Mrs. Dương formally established the Kimmy Dương Foundation to ensure her charitable work continues for generations to come.
Back in 2015, I learned from my husband. He donated a lot of money to George Mason, that where he was on the board of advisor. So he donated $5 million for naming the building in George Mason. Then he established a lot of endowment for his old school in ISU, Iowa State University, that where he has a scholarship, and because of their help, he have a PhD in computer science. So he appreciated. And when I saw that he established the endowment, I said, that's great, that I would like to do the same.
In 2009, she and her husband, Dr. Long Nguyen, donated $5 million to support George Mason University's engineering building. Between 2018 and 2025, the Kimmy Dương Foundation donated an additional $25 million to the University of Maryland, Montgomery College, North Virginia Community College, and George Mason University. In recognition of their generosity, George Mason University named its School of Computing after the couple. Mrs. Zung earned her bachelor's degree in business administration from the University of Saigon. In 2008, she was recognized by Profiles in Diversity Journal as one of the women worth watching. Now retired as of November 2024, Mrs. Zung lives in Virginia with her husband, Dr. Long Nguyen, and continues to dedicate her time and passion to advancing the mission of the Kimmy Zung Foundation, empowering others through education, compassion, and the enduring belief in giving back and paying forward.
In Vietnam, we don't have the system of giving the money to the school and the school can invest and helping others. We don't do that. And we usually, if we see the poor people, we give them some money and or give it to the temple or church, and that's what we did. So when I get to 2015, I was 70 years old. I feel that my life is not come to the end, but closer to where that I want to do what I want to do. And what I want to do is helping people to do what I can. And that's the reason why I established Kimmy and Long Foundation.
Tôi là chồng của cô Kimmy Dương. Chúng tôi sáng lập ra phong trào Việt Hưng tại vì chúng tôi có về nước cách đây cũng 10 năm. Khi đó thấy cộng sản nó rất chiếm Việt Nam, giờ có tàu cộng nó cũng gần như chiếm Việt Nam. Thành ra tôi không thể nào để như vậy được. Thành ra về đây đó, chúng tôi mới sáng lập ra phong trào Việt Hưng. Cái mục đích của phong trào Việt Hưng đó là đuổi tàu cứu nước. Và tất cả những gì chúng tôi làm từ đó tới giờ đều để với cái mục đích là đuổi tàu cứu nước. Tôi không bao giờ về hưu á.
You're still okay.
Tôi chỉ làm việc cả đời. Cái as long as cái mind chứ cái physical facility cho phép mình, tôi sẽ làm việc cả đời. Và như tôi nói, mục đích chính của tôi đời nay đó là đuổi tàu cứu nước. Và khi mà đuổi được cộng sản ra khỏi Việt Nam đó, chúng tôi sẽ về Việt Nam để giúp cho Việt Nam kiến quốc. Đó là cái mục đích tối hậu của tôi. Tôi hy vọng là sẽ có thể làm như vậy trước khi mãn đời.
Có lẽ cũng simple thôi Thùy Dương, tại vì mình làm là mình giúp người ta, mình cũng mong rằng người ta giúp lại những người khác. Tại vì nếu mà ai cũng làm được như vậy đó, thì dù như cô giúp được 10 người hay 100 người hay 1.000 người, thì 10 người hay 100 người, 2.000 người đó sẽ giúp lại được cả chục ngàn người, cả 100.000 người, cả triệu người. Thì nếu mà như vậy cứ tiếp tục làm như vậy thì cái xã hội nó sẽ tốt đẹp hơn.
Ở Việt Nam không có truyền thống để mà cho tiền cho mấy đại học. Chỉ qua đây đó tôi mới thấy nó. Tôi qua đây đó, tôi học đại học ở bên này cả 3 bằng cấp, có bachelor, có master và PhD. 3 bằng cấp đó, mỗi bằng cấp tôi phải được học bổng được mới được hết cả 3 bằng. Thành ra tôi biết cái giá trị của học bổng của ấy ra. Thành ra sau khi tôi ra trường, tôi lập hãng ra, tôi có tiền cái ấy ra, thì tôi cũng bắt chước như vậy. Tôi để cho khuyến khích những người học bổng ấy ra. Đó là một cái lý do chính mà tôi học bổng.
The reason I'm involved, I was invited to help out with the foundation and the judge to select the candidate for the scholarship. So I've been involved around almost 5 years now. Initially, it's a small, I think the first year, about around 7 years, but I started about 5 years ago. When I started, it's still small, and now we about 250 scholarships for each year. Initially, we start as the judge for the Kimmy and Long Foundation, and for the DMV area, it stands for DC, Maryland and Virginia, for like the university in the area, so the University of Maryland, George Mason University, Nova, Northern Virginia Community College, Montgomery College, and the state college for Virginia, so like UVA, Virginia Tech, VCU. Then we expand to other schools like University of Maryland, Baltimore, potentially next year, Towson. And a couple of years ago, we start offer a scholarship for Southern California. We offer about, like last year, we had about, almost 40 candidates for Southern California.
Kimmy and Long Foundation was there before, and they're also very active among, within that umbrella of Phong Trào Việt Hưng. When I joined Phong Trào Việt Hưng, I learned that above and beyond what the service that I just described, I become one of the sponsors. Then to provide the scholarship, it's not a lot, but at least to give them a chance for them to be able to be proud of what they have received, because that scholarship, that not including education, but also their community activity. I'm looking forward that someday, somehow we have extend the scholarship to another state or even another country as well, because I think that's important for the next generation.
Yeah, like Kimmy and Long had contributed so much to the not only academia, not just scholarship, but other like community, so they giúp đỡ, like help with the thương phế binh, and among other things. Even during COVID, she helped with, for example, pay some of the like medication for poor community, and other help other poor people in the area as well. So it's not just scholarship.
A lot of people have paid in different price. Some become a service member in military, some becomes an active scientist, even our children, they now together with other kids in America, they are US citizens. They contribute a great deal to this country. But what the generation in our age, like Mr. and Mrs. Nguyễn Võ Long and Miss Kimmy and Long, they pay back what this country provides to refugees by giving back what they have for education, because they believe that education, that you can also give them a chance that they can have more education, they can serve it better to this country. So I'm very proud that they have provide a lot of donation or endowment to many schools. I think so far what I learned is about over $30 million. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
I know. Especially for a woman who first got out of Vietnam with $30 in her hand, and 50 years later she'll be able to give back $30 million. I'm happy and very lucky to be able to join the movement and the foundation.
I'm Ann Kress. I'm the president of Northern Virginia Community College. We call ourselves NOVA. We serve about 76,000 students over a year. We are a large institution. Our students are 2 to 4 times more likely to come from the lowest income neighborhoods in Northern Virginia. They have the same college dreams and abilities as any other student, but what they don't have are the financial resources. And what this has made possible is those students coming to NOVA, finding success and moving forward into careers, into universities. Those opportunities would simply not have been there before without this incredible investment. And I think what makes it incredibly meaningful is it's coming from 2 people who understand our students' journeys, who they themselves had those same hopes and dreams and aspirations when they came to this country, and now they're looking back and investing in the future. And sometimes I'd say the dollars matter, but that belief that somebody really believes in you and believes that you have this potential, that's even more important.
We serve more than 46,000 students a year. Ms. Kimmy, Dr. Nguyen, the funding that they have provided, it truly changes lives. That scholarship money in terms of this perpetual, when I think about the generous $1 million gift that is really creating opportunities for individual students to pursue their education. About 50% of our students receive financial aid. So when they're able to receive, grants in this nature, they're able to actually continue in their post-secondary education journey at Montgomery College and then pursue their other endeavors, whether they be professional or educational in nature.
One of the things that we all know, the cost of education has gone up. So it's always our dream, how do you make it affordable to students who cannot afford? This particular funding has supported 72 students in the past, and they're adding 12 more. So it is expanding, the number of people who are benefiting from this.
I'm a first generation student. George Mason has a very high percentage of first generation students. The institution focuses on supporting students from low income backgrounds. We have more Pell Grant students than any institution in the Commonwealth, and I was a Pell Grant recipient. We really focus on helping people who have a drive and a motivation to be successful.
I'm Buddhist. And one thing that I hear the most, and I take it away, is the Buddhists say life is full of pain. We were born and we are in pain. So if anything we can do to reduce the pain for one person is the one thing we should do. But I don't like to spoil people. It's just like when I help, I have to think is that the person deserves the help. I'm not just help for the sake of help. So I want the people have to think about how you can give back, help back other people. Because when you do that, you live your life. You reduce the pain of somebody. So that's what I would like to do.
My name is Siddhartha Shakya. I'm a first generation student from Kathmandu, Nepal. And I was raised in a low income household where my parents sacrificed everything for me and my sister to go to college. And I knew we didn't have thousands of dollars lying around for me to go to college. So I had to make a tough decision and take a 2-year gap after high school. I didn't think I was gonna get it because I've already been rejected by dozens of scholarships. But once I saw the email, the congratulatory email, I was shocked. I was ecstatic. I ran around the house. I showed all my family members. I texted all my friends because I didn't think I was gonna get something like this. I didn't know someone believed in me. Just like Kimmy, I was raised in a Buddhist household, so I believe in good karma. I know that the more good I spread into this world, the more the world would bring goodness to me. So during my time at NOVA, I had the opportunity to not only start the Asian Student Association, but eventually become the president. And during my time as president, I was able to have inclusive cultural events where everyone was welcome and they didn't have to pay a single cent. But in order for that to happen, we had major, huge bake sales. And during those bake sales, I even decided that after we were done, that we would donate half of all of our proceeds to different organizations. I wanted to help students who didn't have the money. I know a few dollars or a few $100s goes a long way and could make even the slightest difference, and that's what I wanted to do.
In this particular gift, the students who receive this award have to be not just gifted students or also have a need. They also have to be showing some sort of a leadership already by serving the community. So you're just not saying, okay, here's taking money. It is you're getting this scholarship because you're not just an extraordinary student, but you're impacting the community. And you see that theme coming again and again. That's why it is different, how this scholarship has been administered for the students.
How do gifts like this help a public university live up to the promise of access, opportunity, and freedom?
The resources we get as an institution are not enough. We get state support and state subsidy. We get tuition dollars. We get money from the research projects and the other kinds of auxiliary services that we put forward as an institution. But when you add it all up, they don't meet the need and the cost of educating 40,000 young people. Private institutions have the ability to charge more, right? And the average private institution in this state charges 5 to 8 times more than what we charge at George Mason. So when you're charging that additional amount of money in tuition, you're able to cover a lot of costs that we're just not able to cover. So gifts, pledges, support from partners, that helps us close the gap.
When I came here as dean, we had about 4,400 students, and today we're around 11,000 students. We've also grown our research from when I came here about $10 million in research awards, and now over $100 million. And a lot of the research we're doing supports our nation's most strategic priorities in defense and security. And a lot of that growth is because of people like Long and Kimmy.
I think they recognize what scholarships do for our students. Dr. Washington is often saying that talent is distributed, opportunity is not. And what scholarships do is it evens the playing field. It allows our students to not be weighed down by debt, allows them to make decisions about majors, about their passion. And as someone who was a scholarship recipient myself, I know what that decision does. And when you are liberated from financial burden through scholarships, it really does allow you to attend the university that welcomes you and where you know you'll belong and succeed.
Journalism is under a myriad of challenges. There are the technological challenges, the digital storytelling challenges from AI and from all the changes that the internet has wrought. There are the business model challenges. We have a broken business model, so it's not an easy field to make money in. So it is critically important for us to be able to bring in student support funds that help anybody who wants to be a journalist be a journalist. We don't want it to just be something that the kids of the wealthy can do because they don't need the money. We want anyone to do it. So the more we can support students, the better students we get and the better journalists we get. And that's critical to democracy. Democracy doesn't function without good journalists. Scholarship funds like these are the ones that really, really make the difference. Makes it easier for them to be the best journalism and frankly the best student, because not all of our students go into journalism. Some become attorneys, others join the Foreign Service or go into other fields.
So on the subject of that, could you maybe share a story or an example of someone who has been directly impacted by the grant?
Absolutely, there are so many, and I know there's a particular student, Marikat Apai, received the award in 2023, and was able to finish their nursing credential here at Montgomery College, and they're currently working as an emergency room nurse at George Washington University Hospital.
I will share briefly the story of a student, Siddhartha Sid, who he himself, first generation college student, came to the US as an immigrant, very bright in high school, but after high school realized that his family could not afford to send him to college. Took a couple gap years, did a lot of work saving up money, not just to come to school, but also to get a car to get him to school. And what has made his graduation from Nova possible is the investment from individuals like Kimmy Young and Long. Their belief and dreams of students like Sid made it possible for him to come to Nova, graduate with a degree in cybersecurity, transfer over to George Mason University, and that support continues over there as well. So that's really what we're talking about, is transformation.
Matthew Laffman is a business school student in finance. He wants to be in natural science later. Not just he's very gifted academically, he's also very involved in society. So he volunteers in his church. He helps in the shelters. He also raised money for Cancer and Lymphoma Society. They raised $100,000. So while doing that, he still has to pay for his education, for his living expense, right? So this particular gift that has come, a scholarship, helps him to offset some of the costs. At the same time, make an impact while as a student to society.
In journalism's case, the scholarship is less than a year old, but we already have a young man who, a local Maryland student, who is literally working his way through school. He works several jobs in the summer. He works jobs during the school year. And this grant is going to make it, the scholarship is going to make it so that he has less debt when he leaves us. He's not going to have zero, but he's going to have less. And that's a huge thing, because we all know, right? Those early years after school when you're trying to start your career, in some cases starting a family, debt's not a good thing.
We do, and coincidentally, his last name is Nguyen, and Nguyen was, I think, the very first student to get a scholarship from the Kimmy and Long Foundation, and he's one of our students in the College of Engineering and Computing, and he's got a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, and his educational journey was enabled by the scholarship support he got through the generosity of Long and Kimmy. And now he's a young man who's an alum who is always present. Last night at our big event, he was there. He is active and engaged, wanting to give back, even at a very recent alum, a very young man, giving back, getting involved in our alumni association, becoming a donor himself. So that's a shining example, and I think it's a great example because he was the very first student supported by the foundation.
So if you think about it, our students come and they might qualify for financial aid. That financial aid is often very focused on their tuition and their fees. But that is not the total cost of education, right? And I'm going well beyond books, well beyond materials. It's how do you live while you're in college? How do you go from maybe 2 part-time jobs to 1 part-time job so that you can focus on your studies? That's where incredible donors like Long Nguyen and Kimmy Young and the Kimmy Young Foundation come in, right? Because they're seeing that complete picture of a student's life and what it's going to take to help them be successful. Enrollment doesn't always lead to graduation. These are dollars that make sure that enrollment leads to graduation, that it leads to transfer, that it leads to employment, that it truly is advancing individuals who come to Nova with those dreams of a bolder and brighter future, achieve those dreams.
Why was this particular grant meaningful compared to other sources of funding?
So when students apply for financial aid, there's still unmet need. Even though if I'm a student, I apply for financial aid, I receive financial aid from the federal government, from perhaps the state, there's still unmet need that I may have in order to pursue my educational goals. Because of unmet need, a lot of our students work. Right, and when they're receiving this type of support, they're able to focus more of their time on their educational pursuit. being able to move from semester to semester, but also their time to degree. So the number of semesters that is taking a student to obtain that credential of economic value decreases because they're able to focus more on their studies because they have this level of support. And that's where these types of funds, this generosity really comes into play.
This gift establishes the very first School of Computing in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And that is a big deal, given the importance of computing to this region and to the country.
We are delighted to have their name on our School of Computing because in so many ways, our School of Computing and our history here at George Mason University reflect a lot of their personal history. The official motto of George Mason University is freedom and learning. And Long and Kimmy both fled Vietnam at the end of the Vietnam War to pursue freedom. And when they came to the United States, the first things they did was to then pursue the learning and go to college, get degrees, and then, of course, start very successful business. And so we strive to admit as many students as we can and provide them those opportunities. And a great number of our students are, a lot of them, their parents were born in another country. And even if they weren't, we are providing that opportunity that the more elite universities might not. And so we are here to help young people continue their learning journeys so that they can have great careers and contribute back to nation and society.
Finally, I think they recognize that it contributes to the talent that will be out there and the opportunity for those people to give back. And when we have the opportunity to see the building every day that stands up, that really pays homage to not only their generosity, but it's an opportunity for our students to see that you can succeed here. But when you succeed, you need to give back and pay it forward to the next generation.
So how do you see this grant kind of shaping the future of your work here at the college?
It really creates the future for giving at Montgomery College. It really shows individuals what can happen with an immense amount of generosity.
To be honest, it makes our life easy. Why? Because it attracts some of the best students to come here. Because it is also a competition for the students too.
The example they have set can inspire young people, especially if they're first generation in the United States and first generation to go to college. They can look at examples like Long and Kimmy provide to say, I can achieve success here too. If I stay focused on my education and get my degree, I can be successful and give back to the community.
Every year when I see the George Mason University students on that stage, I think what is possible because of the generosity of Kimmy and Long. And not only that, they've asked other members of their network to support us. That's powerful. Not only are they doing it, but they're asking others to join them. They're leaders, they are representative of the American dream, but they also help me do my job.
If you think about fleeing a war-torn country, coming to this country as an immigrant in the early 70s, building a future that has been so incredibly impressive and impactful in this country, but then pausing and thinking, I need to help others achieve this dream. That is powerful. And it's also what inspires so many students to think about how they can pay it forward when they hit those great heights too, and we know they will. So I cannot thank them enough.
A story of just resilience, a story of determination, a story of how one can really take opportunity and combine that with passion, combine that with kind of a heartfelt desire to see not only oneself succeed, but see others succeed and pay it forward.
Oh, that story is an extraordinary. It repeats. That's what we call American dream. We can't imagine for people who came as refugees what that hardship means. And that's a story to be told, how this country is allowing that your determination to succeed and the opportunities gives you to seize that opportunity with that freedom. The wealth, the opportunity that they got, they put it back into the community to make opportunity for everybody else. And that's why the country moved so fast up. There's an incredible story, and I want to thank Kimmy and Dr. Long, for their incredible gift, which lives far longer than any of us can see that.
The Duongs are such an American story. School and learning and making something of yourself was so important. So the story of people who come to this country and not only do well for themselves, but then for their children and then pay it forward. To me, that touches my heart. That was so powerful for me.
Kimmy and Long share the same story as myself in some degree and as many of our students, right? You start with very little and you work hard, you sacrifice, you position yourself for success, you take advantage of opportunities that are in front of you, and you make something of yourself. And then you give back and you contribute to that next generation going forward. That's what this institution has been about.
One of the things that I love most about the word philanthropy is it comes from the Greek word philos, and it means lover of mankind. And so when I think about philanthropy, you think about Kimmy and Long because they truly love mankind. What they have grown it into, they could have selfishly just amassed a fortune and kept it for themselves. But they have been generous to the country that birthed them and the country that welcomed them. Kimmy and Long are often telling their story and saying, not just writing a check, but saying the significance of why they're giving, and that they truly want students who benefit from their generosity to give to others when they have the opportunity to do so.
Everybody know we will get to the end at the same place. Everybody will die. And when we die, we cannot take it with us. Nothing. We just go empty-handed. So why cannot we do something to help the people who need help? So that is my message.
Thank you for joining us in this story about quiet contributions that carry lasting meaning. We hope that the students who have received support and those who will continue in the future through the educational and community programs of Dr. Long Nguyen and Mrs. Kimmy Zeung will continue to learn, grow, and serve. And one day, when you are successful, may you remember the tradition of gratitude. May you carry it forward by lifting others as others once lifted you.